Hey, what's up everybody? This is Nightwing2303 from WearTesters.com, and today we finally have the performance review on the Adidas D Lillard 1. So that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. So here's just a quick look at the traction. As you can see, we have what they call wave bone, which is very similar to herringbone. And I honestly thought that we were going to be seeing some D Rose 5 level traction with these guys. While they are a very similar pattern, it just wasn't the case. Don't get me wrong, these definitely get the job done, but they're not quite an elite level traction. Especially not on par with the Rose 5. The Rose 5s are just a bit more pliable with the grooves here. Definitely cause a lot more friction between the foot and the court, whereas these do not. I do think that the rubber compound had something to do with it. I don't know if it's because it's camo or just the rubber that they use in general, but this just didn't grip as nicely as the Rose 5 in my opinion. Definitely a solid option still. It's just not the best option, especially comparing the two, which is definitely strange, especially seeing how the type of traction pattern that they used usually is not only flawless, but it's almost identical. So it's just weird that you get the same thing, but two different types of experiences with that. I do think that these are going to be solid outdoors though. It's definitely a more firm rubber, so you're probably going to get a little bit more longevity with this guy versus the Rose. So the entire midsole is adidas Plus. This is similar to what we saw in the J-Wall 1, but the experience was definitely different. The J-Wall 1s felt like they needed some more cushion, whereas these guys just feel kind of awesome. I was really surprised actually. I really thought that these are very comfortable. Now adidas is technically an old cushion, but it's definitely still effective when used properly. You will notice that the forefoot is a bit thinner than the heel. It is something that you can feel, but if you have an old Adidas insole, like one of those polyurethane ones that they use on the old Rose models, if you wanted to plop that in this guy, and I feel that you'll get a little bit better cushion without sacrificing any real court feel. But if you do happen to strike with your heel often, impact protection is definitely going to be nice. It will be absorbed and you'll have a slight bounce back as well, because the adidas Plus is just a little bit more bouncy than your typical adidas or EVA. So if you're looking for an abundant amount of court feel without sacrificing too much cushion, like what we've seen in previous Adidas models like the Crazy Quick series, then this is definitely going to be that option for you. It's going to give you nice court feel up front with some nice impact protection and cushion underneath your foot. As far as materials are concerned, synthetics are used along the entire upper, but they're definitely not cheap synthetics. These are actually really nice synthetics, much nicer than you'd expect with a $105 retail price on a shoe. Now each colorway is definitely a little bit different than the next. The All-Star colorway, for example, featured a white leather upper, which is a synthetic leather, whereas the Weber State featured a synthetic suede, and then these feature a synthetic nubuck. So these guys here have a slight rubbery feel. They're definitely durable, so if you're getting kicked around or you're getting stepped on a lot, it's not going to tear or rip on you, and it also is pretty darn supportive. Whereas that Weber State that I was talking about is the all purple version. Those felt a little bit too flimsy for hooping in my opinion, just not real support or restrictiveness along the upper. So I feel that that colorway would probably be better suited off court, whereas this colorway or one of the synthetic leather options would be better suited on court. Now I usually don't like bringing up price, mostly because prices and affordability is very subjective from person to person, but in my opinion these definitely don't feel like, and I'm just talking straight up materials, don't feel like a $105 sneaker. I'd be happy paying 130 bucks for something that was like this. Of course I don't want to pay 130 bucks, so 105 is perfectly fine with me, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying is just that the materials, they definitely don't feel cheap or like that they're budget friendly or anything like that. They feel very nice. And they do their job well as well. Now it's the fit, which is where I really encountered my problems. I didn't have too much problems with the traction other than it wasn't as good as the Rose. Cushion I thought was great, and I also really liked the materials, but the fit was just really sloppy. Some people have been having some heel issues and heel slippage. I personally have not experienced that, but I'm definitely having forefoot issues. The forefoot is just not secure. I feel like the foot inside is just kind of open and moving all around, especially upon lateral movements. I just really can't get it to get secure, lockdown if you will. This is definitely not going to be a problem for everybody. I do recommend if you do have a wide foot to try these on. Basically, if you have wide feet, in my opinion, this is probably going to be like the best thing since the 90s. And the 90s were awesome. Now, if you're like me and you just have like an average or narrow foot, this definitely might cause some issues. And again, like I was saying, the heel has been causing issues for certain people as well. I do not feel that it's a length problem though, because this is my regular size 9 and they fit me perfectly. I don't think I'm going to be able to go down half a size to try to accommodate that looseness in the forefoot, just because it's going to be way too short up front. Definitely try them on before you grab them if possible. These are just kind of all around at my House of Hoops or Foot Locker, so hopefully they're over at yours as well. But that was my experience. Just the forefoot was definitely too sloppy for me to want to continue playing in them for any length of time. And that brings me to the support. Most of the support in any shoe relies really heavily on their fit. So with my experience in this particular model here with the sloppy forefoot, definitely caused some lackluster support within the forefoot area, especially upon lateral movements. So if your foot and your shoe are going in two different directions, that's not a good thing. So if you are like me and you are experiencing sloppy forefoot issues, the support upon lateral movement is going to greatly suffer. Now, if you're one of those guys that is experiencing heel issues, then ankle stability and lockdown is going to greatly suffer. So either one, not a good deal. So while there are some really great pieces in place that usually help regulate support, such as their sprint frame, which is attached to their heel counter, and then the outrigger section, if the fit is bad, then all of those other little tweaks and pieces or enhancements that they've added to increase support basically get canceled out. So overall, the Lillard 1 is a decent budget model. However, don't get that confused with like a bang for your buck model. In my opinion, there is definitely a difference. So in my opinion, being a budget model means that you're getting something for less. So obviously 105 bucks, you're kind of getting what you pay for. Whereas bang for your buck means that you're paying less for something, but you're getting more out of that something that you purchased. Basically, you're spreading your dollar a little bit further than you would with, say, buying this shoe for $90 versus buying it for $105. That $90 purchase is a better bang for your buck. And if you're stacking these guys up against other budget-friendly models like the J-Wall 1, and they're very, very close to each other with little minor differences here and there. Basically, I love the materials on both of those shoes, these and the Wall 1s, but I do feel that the cushion in this shoe is definitely far superior. However, the fit definitely goes to the walls. I'd probably choose these guys for outdoor hooping, and then maybe spend just a little bit more on something that will give me just a little bit more bang for my buck as an indoor model. Every brand has one, including Adidas, so if you're looking at Adidas, then they've got that, or other brands like I was saying. Looking on the bright side though, this is Lillard's first signature shoe, so there's basically only room for improvement from here on out. So that'll pretty much take care of it. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for being patient with me as well. I know that this took me a long time. I'm definitely getting older and I can feel it, so I need to take a little bit of breaks in between shoes. And if you want any more information, including their scores, just stay tuned to the end of the video, or you can go to my site for more information, weartesters.com. There's also going to be a link in the description box below that's going to explain all of the score badges in case you're confused on that stuff. So thank you guys again. If you're interested in these guys here, there will be links in the description box. And until next time, guys, have a good one.